Well, this week's project is going to be to try to get the engine and the transmission mounted. But before I get started with that, I'd like to just take a minute and thank some of the new subscribers to the channel. It seems like the last 2 weeks we've picked up quite a few new subscribers. I appreciate it. The likes, the comments all help the channel out a lot. Well, like I said today, what I need to do is get this frame turned around. I have an overhead beam on my shop up here where I could pick the engine and hold it while I'm trying to get it mounted, but I got to get the frame turned around. And I got two choices. I could either push it outside, which is in the gravel, and I don't think these rims are going to roll that good in the gravel by myself, or what I'm thinking about doing is we're going to pick up the back, put it on this dolly where I can slide it sideways. The front will steer. So if I could swing that around and swing the front around, I think I got enough room right here to turn the frame around, and then we can get started on the engine. Well, let me get this set up and we'll see how the day goes. Let me see how I'm gonna find a way to pick up this engine. Get it hanging where we can mount the transmission. Now that we got the frame turned around, I gotta get the engine off the stand. There's no easy way to pick this thing up. There's no bolt holes in the back of the head, except for the bell housing bolts, right? And I don't want to bolt it on the pump. So anyway, I strapped it. I had this here I used to pick up my other engine in my T-bucket, and I had modified it and welded these brackets on. So hopefully, once I get it off of here, I made a stand for the front of it that'll support the front, and I'll just have to get some blocks of wood to support the back while we're trying to bolt the transmission up to it. Let me go ahead and get the bolts out, and we'll get it off the engine stand first. Well, I managed to get it down on the ground. I had made this front stand when I first got the engine about probably 6 months ago or so. So I had it set up like this for a long time before I put it on the engine stand. So let me see if I can get the pieces for the bolts for the adapter kit. We'll get it bolted onto here, and then hopefully we'll get the transmission bolted to it. I'll pick the whole thing back up and we'll set it in there, see where we're going to mount it. I just wanted to show you this is the adapter kit. I bought it off of eBay. I was a little skeptical at first, but man, it really looks nice. You can see here it was a company called performanceadapters.com. It came with the flex plate that'll bolt up to the stock crank on the 235. Come up with this adapter plate. It came with a starter. And let's see if I turn this over. Look at, see how nice this is. A lot of machining on it. So anyway, I got the bolts. Let's go see if it fits. Well, I was trying to put the adapter on, and we hit a little problem here. I got all the bolts in. It's on the 2 dowel pins that come out the block, right? But my problem now is this groove right here, I don't know if you can see it, needs to be machined about another 1/4 of an inch to clear the cover for the lifters. This side over here has got plenty, about a 1/4 of an inch of clearance. It's got plenty of clearance there, but I can't get it to go on because it's hitting right here. I'll show you from this side. So anyway, I just got off the phone with Performance Adapters. The guy was super nice. He said he had sold a bunch of them and nobody's ever said anything, or nobody, hadn't had a problem with any of the other ones. And I said, well, if where this notch was machined, if it was just over this way a little bit further, centered, it would have worked. But maybe the guy that does his machining or something else, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to take it back off. I'm going to go ship it back to him right now. He said he'll get right on it and hopefully have it next day back to me, so it won't hold me up too long. But I'll let you know how it turns out. So in order to keep moving, I think what I'm going to do now is we'll pick up the motor, I'll roll the frame forward, and we'll set the motor down in there, and I can start measuring for the engine mounts. This motor originally came out of a pickup truck, so on a pickup setup, it was mounted on a bell housing in the back where the bell housing bolted up against here. It had mounts on both sides, and it also had a front engine mount, which is where I got my engine stand bolted. But there is a place here for a mount in the truck application. In the car application, they had bolts in the side of the block right here where you can see I already made a plate and bolted it up to it. And I made the one for this side also. Right here you can see the plate. So now I got to go from the plate to the frame once I get it lined up where I want it. Well, let me see if we can get this picked up and rolled and put in there, and we'll go from there. Well, while I'm waiting for the transmission adapter plate to come back, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and take the metal stand that I made here off in the front. We'll take it off, and I'm going to cut 3 inches out of it, shorten it. Now I'll adjust the wood in the back and drop the motor down about 3 inches. I still got to big difference between the pinion height of 8 inches and the back of the motor between 15 inches. So lowering it would help. Let me see if I can get it set up where I can take the stand off right where it is. I don't have to pull the motor all the way out. I could just hang it from the lift, and we'll unbolt that stand. Well, I went over there to my chop saw and just chopped it off. These 3 inches right here and here. Cut it. And what I'm going to do is just flip this up like this and go ahead and weld it right back on like that. Before, it never had any feet, just this way, never this way. So this will give it a little more stability front to back. Plus it's 3 inches lower. So let me go put a couple welds on here, and we'll put it back on. There you go. I just put a couple tacks on each side. I think that should hold it. Let's see if we can bolt it back on and lower it back down. Got it bolted back up. We'll see if we can lower it back down. Let's see what it looks like. Let me, while I've got it down, I'm going to go ahead and drill another hole, move this over a little bit so it'll balance a little better. I had this set up for something else. I just got to move. I'll try moving it over about 1 inch. Maybe the motor will sit straight. Well, I got it back in there. Looks real good. I think that dropping it 3 inches was where we needed to be. Looks really good. I also checked that it's got a 1.5 degree. I took a board out of the back, and it's got a 1.5 degree slope now to the back a little bit. And I did some measuring. That transmission with a short tail housing on it's roughly 25 inches. So that'll put us right here at this mark. You see right there, put us about here. And then from here back, it still leaves me 3.5 feet for a drive shaft. So I've got plenty of room. Like I said earlier, the pinion's probably at about 8 inches to the center. The motor right now is probably about 12 inches to the center. So only got about 4 inches. So between the transmission and the 3.5 feet of drive shaft, we should be really good. Well, I was hoping to get all this in one video, but I won't have the adapter plate back probably for another 3 or 4 days. And I also went ahead and ordered some bushings to use the isolator bushings to put in here for the motor mounts. And they won't be here for another 2 days. So I think I'm going to do is end this one. And hopefully in the next episode, I'm hoping that we'll have it all bolted in and ready to go. Well, thanks again for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.